Hi everyone, this is ASDP UFOologist Paul Wellburn from North Yorkshire in the UK, and you're watching the Alien Strand podcast with your amazing host Donald Ledesma.
AlienStrand.com, official website.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma, and welcome to today. It's going to be a real quick one today, all right? Because the only reason I'm on live right now, because I want to make sure everything's working. Yes, right? And then we do have a podcast coming up tomorrow evening, okay? 7 p.m. Central Time. We're going to be having a really cool podcast, and you guys are not going to want to miss it. But don't forget, catch us right on Patreon, man. You need to catch us on Patreon. You know why? Because there's a lot of cool stuff happening on Patreon. I know it's $5 a month. There's some there, but you can actually be a member for free as well. So don't forget about that. And, I'm throwing this out there because, I will be giving away a lot of stuff coming up, and I'm going to tell you what I'll be giving up. I'll be giving away, not giving up. Hey, what's up? So I got a bunch of stickers I'll be giving away to actual people that are members. I do have some more middle shirts, right? I have a couple of more I will be giving away for free to members that come in, and I'll let you know when you want it. When you've got one, I'll ask for your address and everything, and I'll send you one. Okay. So I hope you guys are enjoying our content that comes out of these video podcasts. Because we do try to get as much information out as possible. On everything that we do. Okay. So Alien Extras. It's something that I won't be doing here on regular live podcasts. This is something. It's actual not a live pod. It's a recorded podcast that I will be talking about different stories that you won't find here. Okay. And one of them that's going to be, I'm going to give you a drum roll. Wow. I'm going to be talking about RH negative. All right. And how it kind of connects to extraterrestrials and why they are attracted to a lot of females, especially with green eyes, a lot of people with green eyes and a lot of people with RH negative, right? So, and that has a lot to do with a lot of research that has been done through the years of people getting abducted, right? They do get abducted, and they notice that a lot of these folks that do get abducted, of course, the higher percentage rating are RH negative, right? So this was going to be on Patreon on Alien Strand Extras. This is going to be coming up. I'm going to record this tonight. It'll probably be up tomorrow. And then the other brand new podcast will be coming up tomorrow as well. Okay. So don't forget, catch this podcast on Patreon. You can be on Patreon. Go check it out. You can be an actual member without having to pay. It's free. There's some free stuff there. I will actually leave a link to Patreon, Alien Strand, on this podcast below or above. Okay. So just make sure you're checking it out. And I hope you guys are enjoying all this content that's coming out of here. Now, it's we're just trying to get out as much information as we can. I need to know from you guys, really, in reality, is this working out for you guys as far as the video podcast? We're having guests on, and just having folks on, and you get to communicate and talk to them back and forth. Do you like it? Yes, no, yes, no. Put it on a comment right here down below. And that way I'll know exactly if this is working out. Because I did start off with audio podcasting, and it was only audio. Nobody saw my face. This face right here. So nobody really saw what it was. Before you see it now, right? I don't know if you guys want to see this or not, but you are actually watching it, right? So, but let me know if you guys like the video podcast that we're putting out, because we actually do. It's almost like a class. You get to learn stuff. We put images online, so you guys are watching it in real time, so that way we can kind of break everything down as we talk to our guests, or if we're talking about UFOs, aliens, or anything like that. So we were able to do that here on this platform, which is great, which I love about it. I hope you guys love it too. You can't ask for anything better. So remember, tomorrow night, all right? Tomorrow night is going to be with Mr. Dwayne Belcher, because the first one glitched on us. We had so much echo and crap that happened that I asked him to come back on the show. Let's redo it again. I did not put the one before this one on audio, because I just could not get it fixed up. And this was... I just told him, let's just redo it. Since he's very knowledgeable about the Anunnaki, he knows about, a lot of things from the past. We were talking about Atlantis, things like that. We're gonna bring up all this. So who doesn't like talking about the Anunnaki, right? A lot of people love to hear this subject, because it's a subject matter that kind of, it coexists with us, yes, right? Because it was revealed in the Sumerian text, right? About this, and we were able to what's his name, Zechariah Sitchin, put it all together for us, and we were able to decipher those tablets, right? Which happened in Mesopotamia, right? Which was now Turkey, Iraq. So this is where everything started, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a lot of things that happen. Of course, we're going to bring up the Bible. We're going to bring up Enoch. We're going to bring up things from, like I said, Sumerian. We're going to talk about Atlantis. We're going to talk about a lot of different things that are going to kind of coexist with human mankind, right? And how we probably the evolution, maybe. I don't want to say evolution. I just kind of want to say that maybe how it began, right? Because now we're starting to go back. Remember, we only went back 3,000 years, 5,000 years. Now we're finding stuff 10,000 years. Now we're finding stuff 12,000 years. And then, you're thinking of like, man, how far do we go back, right? In reality, and this is what we're going to just pretty much talk about. You guys can pick our brains on this podcast tomorrow night at 7:00. All right. It's going to be a great podcast. Do not miss this one, okay? Because we want to make sure that you guys are enjoying the content that's coming out of this podcast. And if not, we're going to just go back to audio, and then we'll just kind of just do it out that way and put everything else on Patreon. But I do like the Patreon. Only reason is because it's a lot of different things that there's things I've talked about in my past podcast, but I want to retouch up on them, right? And go into depth, right? Because a lot of things you have to go deeper into depth, because I don't like going over an hour really in reality, right? Because you guys are going to get bored, man. You know what I'm saying? It's after an hour, people usually get bored, so I don't want to do that to you. I just want to give you information on that one subject as much as possible. That's why I talked about stories, right? Just one general story area. And then I would talk about that story and then kind of break it down for you in the audio podcast when I first started out, right? So this is what we're going to be doing. Like I said, we're going to do the video podcast with the presentation, and then we'll get all the information out to you guys as much as possible. Now, I am editing the middle two. I'm almost done, guys. Yay! I'm almost done, and that would be cool, right, for me to finish. But even after it's finished, there's a lot of little things I have to go in there and touch up on, make sure everything's right, the captions, all that good stuff. It's just one of those things we have to do, right? And because I know in the first one, there was a couple of little glitches in there, it kind of messed up a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. We're fixing it on this one. This one, I want to make sure this one comes out great and it's perfect for you guys to see. Now, this one's going to be a very interesting movie, because it's really going to talk in depth about what happens to folks right? On when they have an actual encounter. It's C3 is not only being in front of an extraterrestrial or witnessing an extraterrestrial craft. It's actually it's a kind of like when you standing face to face with something, like people when they see a Bigfoot's looking at you, right? And you get that eerie kind of feeling inside, right? So it kind of freaks you out. Well, this is basically the CE3 movie. This is what people are going through. You're going to see exactly what happened to them. You're going to see their footage. You're going to see everything and everything they talk about and it how it affected their life, right? Because it does affect your life as when you have these CE3 experiences. It's not for everybody. No. Like some people say, oh yeah, I want an alien to come pick me up and just take me away. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. That ain't gonna happen. So just make sure, and I always say, be careful for what you wish for, because these things are not friendly. Like I told you before, they're not gonna take you to their family picnic. Gonna have a good old time, and you're gonna come home back, and it's gonna be a good barbecue. No, that is not gonna happen. All right, they're gonna do some messed up and horrible things to you. Okay, and you are not gonna like what's happening to you. So on my last Patreon podcast, I did talk about, and this as well, I talked about aliens and what do they want, things like that. These are I'm getting into depth about what these extraterrestrials are doing, what they want, right? Because as a sense of a person, remember, if you're just beginning ufology, you're just starting ufology, or you have seen these things and you don't know exactly what you're seeing, well then this is what happens. We're trying to help you guys, just like Anibal saying right now. He says it sure affects our lives. Yes, it does. It affects everybody. Even if some people are just afraid of what they're seeing, it's not even has to be a standing extraterrestrial there, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be that. Just a strange craft in close proximity can really freak somebody out, right? Because that it's something that you're not supposed to be seeing, or it's not something that we made, right? It's not an airplane, it's not a helicopter, right? It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's not Superman. It's something different, right? So it's going to be something that we don't know, and you can't wrap your mind around what you're seeing up in the sky. So this is why it affects a lot of people. And this is what Anibal was saying as well. It does affect a lot of people. And that's what our film is about. Just remember that these extraterrestrials are not here to have a good time with you. They're not here to drink a beer with you. They're just here to do some freaking mental damage to you. Okay. So, and that's the scary part of it, and we're going to touch base on a lot of that with our podcast tomorrow. Okay. And just make sure that tomorrow you're tuning in so you guys can kind of, if you want to ask questions, you can ask questions about it. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? No question is a wrong question. Just remember that. Okay. So, and like I said, we always know that these things are here. They're gonna do the straight up abduction, whether it's, the taking your blood, taking your eggs, doing anything like that, probing. Hello, Mr. Paul Wilburn. There you go, brother. That was for you. So that's what happens, right? So, and I don't know why they do that, or why they go into your eye, or why they put needles in your eyes, why they extract these fluids from you, constantly doing that. Even to males, just remember that they do that as well, and it's not a pretty sight. And we know why. We've read these things. Well, why they're doing these things? It's because they can't reproduce. They're not able to reproduce at all. They have no sexual organs whatsoever, right? As us as human beings, male and female, we can multiply, whatever you want to say. We can actually keep on going. Our humanity can keep on going, right? So this is something that it's a serious thing. At the same time, if you're really seriously into ufology or extraterrestrials and things like that, just remember that there's a dark side to all of this, right? It's not always going to be a light side. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some cool stories out there some people have out there where it's like, yeah, I had a great experience with these things. They didn't do much harm to me. They let me go. They were able to communicate. They just wanted this or wanted that, right? I get that. It's all right, man, to do that as well. I have a Facebook user says they take us without so much as a word. And that is exactly right, because that's what they do. And, like I said, on my podcast on Patreon, I will be talking about RH negative. I am going to be getting into a lot of this subject matter that's in there. As you know, it's hard for me to explain and tell you right now because I'm like Joe. Okay, something that you have to listen to on any strand extras if you want to. You don't have to, but it will be coming out there. And I already have a few people, members, subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing and being members of Alien Strand Extras on Patreon. Like I said, I will put a link to that. And it's crazy, man. How do you do these things? To try to get in depth with everybody, and try to figure out exactly what's going on. My thing is that I've been doing this for a long time now, uh, close to, I'm going to say 5 years, diligently. So it's not like I do it once in a big blue moon or once every 3 months. I'll do a podcast. No, I live, I eat, I breathe, I talk. Everything that I do is ufology. Everything. So just remember that. I don't. I'm not talking out of my rear end. I know what I'm telling you because I've documented a lot of these things. I have. I just educated myself, right? And this is what I'm here to do for you. I'm here to help you and educate you guys as well. We have to be making sure that that everything is right for you guys to understand. And this is why I don't speak in these large terminology words and stuff and things like that, like scientists do. And if you ever watch those podcasts, these dudes are talking in these huge, humongous words. And I'm sitting there like, what? Because not everybody's got a PhD or a degree or a college, thesis. I talk like a normal Cuban being, and I talk to you guys like I talk every day, man. Whether I stumble on my words, whether I don't, this is what I do. I'm as real as it gets. Now, speaking of being real, there we have a couple of groups out there that there's some things that we're seeing up in the sky, that maybe we can and cannot explain, right? So we have to make sure that when we put these things out there, a lot of times we have to go back and say, okay, you know what, we just figured something out, and we go back and correct it. So remember, before you make your comment, whether it's Alien Strand Disclosure Project, whether it's Alien Strand Page, or whether it's anything, any groups out there, make sure you read it completely, because I am guilty of that, not doing that at times. I just look at the picture, right? I'm like, oh, that's not real. Before reading it, read the whole title. And then sometimes it'll tell you exactly what's going on in the picture before you make a comment, okay? Because then you look like come on, man. You don't want to look stupid. So, and it happened to me, and it does happen to people out there. So let's make sure that we're doing this right. If you want to make a comment out there, just read it, and if there's a correction, we will make the correction on things that we do. I'm guilty of that too, and I've had to go back and make corrections. Okay, so we're all human beings, and we all do make little mistakes. Okay, so let's just go ahead and stick with that. Thank you, Terry, for we have Terry tonight. He's actually in Oregon. He's getting ready. Guess what? He's getting ready to go with Oregon Ufology and Research. They're going to go and do some filming up there. They're going to close to California, up on that edge, close to Mount Shasta in that area. They're going to be doing some filming up there for one of documentaries that they were going to be presenting, right? And they're going to actually do the filming. So you're going to see a lot of their footage that's on there. A lot of Terry's research is going to be on there. Make sure that you guys, that'll probably come out next year. So just make sure, get ready for that one. And we're just trying to do the best as we can to get all the information out to you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying these podcasts, as their video podcasts as well. And we do throw it on audio after they're on that, so it's a lot of work to be done out there, and I hope you guys are actually really enjoying a lot of these shows. And if you are, give us a thumbs up, share it if you can. Go to our YouTube, hit us a like, subscribe, man. That does help a lot, and not just because of the numbers, but it helps us know if you guys are enjoying this content, right? So please do that, and that it just helps so much, that we're trying to do out here. Mr. Anibal says the more they check these podcasts, the more they will learn of what's going on. so much to be covered. That's exactly right. So Mr. Terry Lynch is saying they're going to Crook County, Oregon. Wee-haw. I wish I could go, man. I would really want to go there. But it's, that's about, let's see, close to 3,000 miles from me, almost to 1,800 to 2,000 miles from me. So what you got to remember, when I did the first movie, it was almost 4,000 miles round trip that I did. And it was a lot of work. So you guys, it's a lot of work, a lot of miles, a lot of hotel rooms, and, little small motels everywhere we could stay. We sleep in the truck just to get you guys the footage that we're trying to do out there and get all the information to you guys. So you got to remember these, to be an independent filmmaker, small independent filmmaker, it takes a lot of sacrifice, man. That took us, I think, 12 days to shoot, something like that. So man, that was a lot of fun being out there. So if you guys have a chance, don't forget, really catch this movie, The Middle, $2.99, Amazon Prime, Tubi TV, and TCL. Give us a thumbs up. The next movie will be coming out, like I said, within late November. So because it's almost done, and after it goes through all the bells and whistles, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. They had to do all the checks and balances and all, make sure. Then it goes up to Amazon Prime. So remember the movie, the Middle Part 2, CE3, will be coming out on Amazon Prime first. So it'll be there for 2 to 3 months before it expands anywhere. Okay. And it's up to you guys to watch it so that way it can expand a lot faster and a lot further. Okay. This time the subtitles will be in different languages, English and Espanol, and it will be in all kinds of languages. We're going to try to put it in as much as we can. All right. So that way it can reach out to more countries, because this is what we want. We want it to be to where everybody can watch these films and actually learn. Okay. So just kind of remember that. I've blabbled enough, on this small short podcast. I just wanted to make sure that you guys are going to catch tomorrow's podcast, because man, it's going to be awesome. You can't beat that, giving you all that information of the gods, the Anunnaki. We're going to talk about Enoch. Like I said, we're going to talk about the Sumerian, to actually put it out there as much as we wanted to, because there was a lot of more questions I wanted to ask, and I wasn't able to put the questions right. So just remember, see that podcast right there? Oh, I'm going to point this way. Right there. That podcast tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time. Don't miss it. Catch it tomorrow on all these platforms. All right. So it's going to be on Twitter. Twitter, YouTube. We're going to be on Twitch. We're going to be on Rumble. We're going to be all over the darn place, man. We're going to have that thing podcasting on 7 to 8 of these groups that are on here as well. Okay. So thank you guys for listening to today. I hope you guys catch tomorrow's podcast. Please join our Patreon, because I got a lot more stories and a lot more detailed information that I think if you want to learn ufology, you want to learn about extraterrestrials, you want to learn, if you're just starting out, that would be a perfect thing for you guys. And it will teach you so much, as, like I said, I get to do presentations as well. And then you guys can actually see exactly what I'm talking about, and I'll break everything down for you. All right. So, like I said, give us a thumbs up if you like our video presentations, if you like this, or just audio. What do you think? So let me know. All right, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. Have yourselves a good night. Alien Strand Extra.
This is ASDP ufologist Terry Lynch from Oregon. You're watching the Mothership Alien Strand Podcast with your host, Donald Ledesma.